And let's move to the next story as well, James, because it's also kind of tech related, isn't it? This is to do with the Consumer Electronics Show. It's taking place in Las Vegas, isn't it? But you wanted to talk about some of the cool and weird tech.
Well, this is more fun. I mean, the Consumer Electronics Show is really exciting because it's both very serious and business orientated and looks at trends for technology in 10 years' time. But it also looks for technology in 10 months' time. And there are some things, some gadgets, some technology that will freak you out, and some you'll think, oh, wow, that could be really useful. And
what's got you excited?
I'll tell you one thing that's got me quite excited, and it's because I'm old enough to have enjoyed owning a BlackBerry in the past.
No, hold on. I remember BlackBerries. I used to have my own BlackBerry.
Well, there you go.
It.
And one of the best things about a BlackBerry was having a keyboard.
Oh, I love that keyboard.
And what somebody at the Consumer Electronics Show has launched is a keyboard that you can slot your smartphone into.
No.
So you can then type on a small keyboard underneath your phone.
Game changer.
It starts as a retro device to make people go, oh, wow, isn't that cute? And apparently from those that have used it, it becomes something really useful.
Well, I've constantly get like pain in my thumb because you know what it's like on your phone. You're constantly tapping away, swiping up, swiping down, and actually typing is a lot better because you're using all of your fingers.
Yes.
So this is something I'm very excited about.
Do you want me, let me just give you an aside briefly.
Go
Do you
on.
know how to look at and establish whether somebody is young or not?
How?
And that is, if you ask somebody to mime making a phone call, really old people use a rotary dial. People of my generation will touch like that, whereas young people will use their thumb.
Oh my goodness.
And that's how you show what generation.
What generation. So
there we go.
The rotary, and then it would be the index finger where you're tapping to dial, but young people just using their thumb. It's such a good point.
On the Consumer Electronics Show, some of the other gadgets, some that will freak you out, is an AI-focused robot. This was profiled in the Washington Post and in the Mail.
Right.
And this robot follows you around the house and will take instructions on the jobs that need doing and then start to do the jobs. So whether that's hoovering, whether that's, and it's got a projector in the road. Exactly.
Oh my gosh.
So that's something. The more tangible ones that I can see a benefit in the short term, this is interesting. Have you ever seen a football match or ever seen anything whereby people are covering their mouths with their hands so that the conversation doesn't get leaked or people can't see?
Yeah.
So there is now a mask that you can wear to make phone calls. And one of these things has a mask with a speaker inbuilt into the mask.
Wow.
And it masks how you can speak. Another thing that I saw, and this was reviewed on The Independent, that was really interesting, was glasses with a hearing aid in the stem of the glasses. So
amazing.
Isn't that amazing? Now, it's quite cost prohibitive, but one of the things with these technology trends is they almost set the vision and then the price comes down afterwards.
Okay,
so as we can see,
as we start buying the products and kind of mass production, then the price will slowly come down.
Exactly. And that's with the things where you're future gazing a bit more than into months and years and into decades. Was there's the typical things like driverless cars. There's the typical things like taxis that fly. So, and all of these are at the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas. So,
but what you're talking about there, just coming back to the glasses with the hearing aids, that kind of reminds me of, I know other brands have done it. Snapchat did it for a while, but Ray-Bans now have glasses which have a camera on them, don't they?
Yes, they do.
As sunglasses, which is quite something.
Yes, completely. And actually, one of the gadgets that I saw previewed was a pair of binoculars where it made bird spotting easy because you'd use the binoculars, you'd find the bird would be referenced by the binoculars.
Oh, wow.
And it would tell you in the binoculars which bird you were seeing.
Now, that's a bit like, what's that Tom Cruise film that everyone always talks about?
Well, I was going to say it's a bit Terminator-ish.
Yes, it is. It's Terminator,
Where it actually says what you're seeing. So it's an incredible development. And there are glasses coming down, again, technology, future gazing, but there are glasses that are going to be able to do something very similar.
It's quite something, actually, I have to say, James, because you know the other half, you know Sonny very well, and he's into his tech massively. A couple of years ago, he bought me, now other products, of course, are available, but he bought me the AirPods.
Okay, yes.
And I literally looked at him like, are you having a laugh? There's no way I'm going to be using these because in my day job, I have headphones on all the time. So when I leave this studio, the last thing I want to do is put anything in my ears. And that's why I'm a little bit tech averse, because I'm so surrounded by it, you know, in the studio, in the work that I do outside of the BBC as well, that actually I'm not, I mean, look, maybe you can quote me in 12 months' time and see where I'm at. But I genuinely can't see myself buying these type of glasses because I just think it's too much. I'd rather have like a physical copy of a book and read it. Do you know what I mean? I'd rather have exactly a CD and rather than stream music. I'm one of those people.
One thing that people are always saying to me, because I'm perpetually plugged in. So if it isn't a podcast, it's music. So I've always got headphones on. And people are constantly saying to me, just enjoy a walk.
True.
You don't need
something
entertainment and something talking at you all the time.
Yeah, so. I'm really glad you say that, because I think actually it's something we don't realise that we don't do. Because even when you're sat down at home, if you're watching TV, you are technically still plugged in.
Yes.
You know, if you're tuned into BBC Radio London right now, you're listening to the radio, you're still plugged in.
Yeah.
If, as you've just already said, if you're doing if you're listening to a podcast, or if you've got a Zoom meeting, that's all different ways of being plugged in.
Yeah.
So actually, something I try to do when I'm going for walks with my daughter is I will leave the phone at home. You know, and I've got a beautiful little natural reserve across the road from where we live, so I don't have to worry. Everyone knows where I am, but. I remember back in the day when I used to go to the park and my mum would just have to walk over to come and get me because there was no mobile phone to see where I was at.
Almost the converse to the Consumer Electronics Show is the way that I was marketed a forgive the turn of phrase, a dumb phone.
Okay.
So the opposite to a smartphone.
Yeah.
And my grand vision, and I never did it, but I was going to, at the weekend, take my SIM card out of my smartphone and put it into a phone that only rang and sent text messages.
Wow.
So it would take me off the internet. And for that reason, so that you would only be able to receive calls and make calls.
Do you remember pagers,
Yes,
James?
of course I do.
Oh my gosh, that was all the rave when I was in school.
Yes.
You'll have to come back and maybe we delve more into tech, because I think it's something that we don't discuss enough on the show. Time's against us. I know that we had more stories, but it's always a pleasure having you here, James.
It's been a delight. Thank you so much.
It has indeed. People can get in touch, can't they? Give us the spelling of your name on X.
James Erskine, Erskine, and you can find out more about Rocket at wearerocket.co.uk.
Catch up with you very soon. Thanks for joining me today, James.
Thanks, Shay.
Always a pleasure.